Superstation TBS presents the Atlanta Braves, America's team. Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. By the official airline of the Atlanta Braves, Delta. We love to fly, and it shows. And by Turtle Wax, the world's largest selling car wax.
Hello again, everybody. Along with Billy Sample, Skip Carey welcoming you to another day of Atlanta Braves baseball. The Braves still seeking their first win of the year. They're 0-5, and they go against a tough customer today, Orel Hershiser. Last year, 4-1 against the Atlanta team. Pitched a 3-hit shutout earlier this week against the San Francisco Giants. Rick Mahler will be his pitching opponent for the Braves. When you're 0-5, a lot of things going wrong, and one of the problems for the Braves, Billy, has certainly been in the bullpen.
Well, Skip, if you take a look at the graphic, you can tell that the Braves have been scoring runs in the middle innings, but the opposition have been adding on runs at twice the pace. And actually, there's a catch-22 developing in the bullpen, because now Jim Acker and Chuck Carey have started to develop injuries. So for the bullpen, both physically and psychologically, what they would need is a complete game. And hopefully Rick Mahler can deliver.
Ozzie Virgil will not play today, had his knee drained, and Bruce Benedict will catch. Virgil is available only to pinch hit in the ball game today, and his status is day-to-day as we go along here. Back with the starting lineups, the play-by-play story, right after this.
Sports are unpredictable, memorable, and so are the no-holds-barred conversations on the sports page.
When a kid looks past his dining room table for a role model, something's wrong in the house.
Join me, Craig Sager, on the sports page, 11 Eastern on the Superstation, tonight.
Coaches Bill Russell and Willie Stargell have presented the umpires with the lineups. And here's the one that Bill Russell presented. Leading off at second base, Steve Sachs. Batting second, the hero of the last two nights, Alfredo Griffin. Batting third in left field, Kirk Gibson. The cleanup batter at third base, Pedro Guerrero. Batting fifth at first base, Mike Marshall. Batting sixth in right field, Mike Davis. Batting seventh in center field, John Shelby. Catching, batting eighth, Mike Scioscia. And batting ninth, Orel Hershiser. And this is the lineup Willie Stargell presented. In center field, his second start, Albert Hall. Batting second, Damaso Garcia. As the Braves take the field, Deion James will be in left field. Dale Murphy in right field, cleaning up. Gerald Perry at first base, batting fifth. Andres Thomas, the shortstop, batting sixth. Ken Oberkfell at third base, batting seventh. Bruce Benedict catching once again, batting eighth. And Rick Mahler batting ninth. The umpires, Terry Tatum behind the plate. Bruce Fromming at third base. Gary Darling at second base. And Jerry Davis at first base. And in our attempt to get the first victory of the season for the Braves, here's my broadcast partner, Skip Carey.
Okay, Billy, thank you. In the other baseball, the Cubs scored 3 in the first at Montreal. That's Rick Sutcliffe against Bryn Smith. The Mets lead the Phillies 1-0 after an inning and a half. Dwight Gooden and Shane Rawley pitching in that one. Houston and Cincinnati about to get underway. Mike Scott against Ron Robinson. Pittsburgh plays at St. Louis this afternoon. John Smiley, who worked in the bullpen all last year for the Pirates, gets a start today. Joe McGrain for the Cardinals. And San Diego is at San Francisco again. The Padres, like the Braves, seeking their first win. Ed Whitson and Dave Dravecki will pitch that one. Milwaukee in the second inning leads the Yankees 2-0. Teddy Higuera against Tommy John. Robin Yount has a homer. Baltimore and Cleveland scoreless after one. McGregor and Yet pitching that one. And later on, Toronto at Minnesota. Seattle plays at Chicago. Detroit at Kansas City. Boston at Texas. And Oakland will play at California. We'll be keeping up to date on all the other baseball as we go along here this afternoon. The homestand continues tomorrow night at 7:40. Zane Smith against Bob Knepper. Peter Smith on Tuesday night against Nolan Ryan. And Wednesday, a 5:40 contest. Kevin Kaufman will go against Jim Deshaies. And then the ball club hits the road for a week, going to Los Angeles and Houston before coming home once again. After the game today on TBS, an encore presentation, portrait of the Soviet Union, an exploration of the Russian Republic and the Russians of the old Russian Empire. That follows the game at around 4:50 this afternoon. Chuck Tanner looks on as Steve Sachs stands in. He's 3 for 12 in the series, hitting .278 with a homer and 2 RBI. Rick Mailer ready to go. Chuck Carey plagued by tendonitis in both knees, but he says he's able to pitch. Jim Acker has tenderness in the elbow and shoulder, and it's doubtful that he will perform for Atlanta today. Mailer's first pitch of the game, a fastball hit up the middle. Andres Thomas can't get there, base hit. He just did squeak it through up the middle. He tries for second, and he's safe as the ball is dropped by Garcia. They had him dead to rights, but Damo couldn't hang on. See how they'd score it. Well, we're not off to much of a start, are we?
This is not what the Braves needed. Play just eludes. The ball just eludes Andres Thomas. And just good heads-up aggressive play by Sachs. You can afford to do that when you're on a streak, as the Dodgers are, and they've put runs on the board, and you tend to be a little more aggressive when you can do things like that.
It's a single, and error on Garcia. And here's Alfredo Griffin, who is 4 out of 13 in the series, but has driven in 7 runs. And he bunts down the first baseline. It's a beauty. There'll be no play anywhere, and they're at first and third. 2 pitches and runners on the corners, nobody out. A perfect bunt by Griffin.
It's a very unselfish play. He's going to try to move the runner over, and not only do you move the runner over, but you get a hit. You get a hit with a man in scoring position. And once again, you've put pressure on the Braves, who seem to not be able to get out from under whatever they're under.
Kirk Gibson, the batter, in the series 4 out of 12 with 5 RBIs. First and third, no one out. There's a strike, a fastball, 0-1.
I was just starting to comment. I believe that error by Garcia is the first one the Braves have committed this year. And with Mailer, who will give up a few hits, but the double play ball has been one of his best friends. And when the defense has been playing the way they have, you're looking for that.
Downstairs, a ball and a strike, the count. In case you missed our open, Ozzie Virgil had fluid on his knee drained this morning, is available only to pinch hit, and his status is day to day. They'll evaluate him each day as to when he'll be back. All that squatting all those years, boy, hamper those knees. Gibson swung late, took a shot at left field, it appeared, but fouled it out. A ball and 2 strikes. Could use a strikeout here, and then the double play would get you out of the mess.
Come on, you can do it, big guy.
Talked to Mailer before the game specifically about pitching to Alfredo Griffin. He said, I might as well just throw him fastballs down the middle. He's hit everything. Hit the ball almost bouncing up there, hitting it up around his eyes. Got him with a change. Gibson is out of there, so Mailer has a chance to wriggle free.
First big changeup, Rick Stone. Big curveball. Takes something off of it. Gibson, a good fastball hitter. And that's his 4th strikeout in the last 2 nights.
Guerrero lifetime .323 against Mailer, 10 out of 31. He doesn't run that well. If you get the ground ball, you get out of it. That's not a ground ball. Hall coming on. Good running catch. Runner tags. He will score easily, and it's 1-0. Sacrifice fly, RBI Guerrero. He hit that ball pretty well.
And Albert Hall makes a nice running grab, but with Sachs on third base, that's a give me RBI.
And Mike Marshall is the batter. Marshall hitting .250 with 3 RBIs. 1-0 Dodgers. We're just underway.
If Mailer can get out of this with 1 run, that might be a good sign, because it had the starts of another bad outing.
One ball, no strike.
Not necessarily another bad outing by Mailer, but another bad Brave outing.
So far, broadcasting this year has been like being the entertainment director on the Titanic. 1 ball, no strikes.
Notice I didn't say anything.
You know, things are off to a bad start when Billy Sample works out with the team prior to the game, and he did that today. Pop foul back. Benedict off of the mask, has no play. It's in the seats.
But if I leave sometime in mid-July, then either you know the club needs a hitter or I flopped as a broadcaster, one or the other, eh?
Well, you're not going to do that.
I need the work.
Although I will say, now that you mention it, a ball and a strike to count. No, I won't mention it. Runner going. Popped up on the infield. If it stays in play, and it will, the inning is over. Perry's got it. The Dodgers score 1 time on 2 hits. 1 costly error, 1 left. An unearned run, but it counts, and we go to the bottom of the first. Dodgers 1, Atlanta coming to bat. There's a look at the Dodger defense. Orel Hershiser is 1-0, a 3-hitter, a shutout against the Giants in Dodger Stadium. He struck out 6, walked 2. Last year 4-1, in his career 9-6 against Atlanta, and Albert Hall will lead it off against him. Hall, Garcia, and James will be the first 3 for Atlanta.
Hershiser, good sinking fastball. In fact, there was a stretch there in '85, I believe, where he retired 29 consecutive batters that didn't get a ball out of the infield.
He's a scratch golfer, was an outstanding hockey player. I think was drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers after high school. He's born and raised in the Philadelphia area.
Our second night where we've had a starting pitcher as a hockey draft.
Hall is hitting .667, 4 out of 6, a triple included. That was last night, and it drove in his only run of the year. He's either 4 out of 6 or 4 out of 7, something like that. Strike right in there. A ball and a strike. So he's not hitting .667, he's hitting .571. I wish I hadn't brought it up in the first place. A ball and 2 strikes to count.
Just shows you how meaningless percentages are when you don't have a lot of subject or subject matter
Or gray matter.
or at bats.
One of us is going to have to stop this. The 1-2 pitch. Hit on the ground to first. Marshall plays it off his chest. 1 up. Hall is retired. Damaso Garcia is 0 for his last 15. He is hitting .174. Hershiser ready to go to work. Fastball low and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Hershiser was not a real high draft choice. He was a very marginal prospect. Strike called, proving how imprecise scouting is, and the scouts would be the first to tell you that. 17th round pick in the June '79 free agent draft. On the corner, boy, he's a dart throw. 1 and 2.
More so in baseball than any other sport, I believe. The draft picks just don't mean quite as much. They may mean a little more now in the latter years, now that more players are coming out of the collegiate ranks, but for the most part, you can go 1 through 10 and interchange them and have it not really matter.
Strike 3 called. Fastball over the outside corner. Two are out, and Deion James, the batter.
As you said, Skip, the outside corner, just a fastball outside. They've been pitching Damo outside the whole series, and hitting is a series of adjustments, and this will be an adjustment Damo will have to make.
Deion James, 2 for his last 14, lines at foul. I know one thing that used to fool scouts, and I think still does, especially with high school kids. You get kids, for example, of Italian extraction or Mediterranean extraction, generally speaking, mature more quickly than Nordic type peoples. So a kid who is 17, first the pitch to James, a little bit inside, may hit 800 in high school, but may have reached his full maturity and not improve any further as he grows older, and other kids of other persuasions catch up with him. So he sort of stands still, and a guy 4 years later might be a much better player who was 4 years earlier not as good as that fella. Does that make any sense?
I understood your point. I'm just trying to figure out what's around the Mediterranean. I said Italy, Greece, Spain. Let's see. Nope. None of that covers my ancestry.
Well, you're very mature, I'll say that for you. A ball and 2 strikes. Two out, nobody aboard. There's a hit into right center. Mike Davis over and up with it. James is at first with 2 out. Here's Dale Murphy. Murphy has 3 home runs in his career off Orel Hershiser. He's hitting .327 lifetime against him. 16 out of 49, 3 homers. If he could hit one here, the Braves would have the lead. He challenged him with a fastball and lived to tell about it. 0-1.
I hadn't heard your theory, though, on geography. I like that. That sounds good.
Scouts have brought that up to me in general conversation.
Now you'll have me researching everyone's family tree to...
Swung late, 0-2. I don't really know if it's specific ancestries or not, but some people certainly mature earlier than others. Notice that going to junior high school.
But you probably noticed that females matured more than males.
0-2 is the count to Murphy. Just missed that outside corner. Murph wasn't so sure. He sort of glanced back at Terry Tata as if to say, oh, please, no. 1-2 the count.
That's the longest 1/10 of a second in the world when you're anticipating that strike 3 call and you don't get it.
James scrambles back. Pretty close play. Renner at first, 2 down. 1-0 Dodgers, bottom of the first inning. Deion back easily. Murphy with a homer, 2 RBIs, a .222 average. Bounced that one up there. Good play by Socha. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Dale seemed to get on track last night with that home run and a single late in the game.
Gerald Perry waits on deck. There are 2 out in the inning. Upstairs, and after being ahead 0-2, it's now a 3-2 count, and the runner James will be going from first. 2 out. So the 3-2 pitch about to unfold here. Dodgers head to San Diego after the game tonight. Play 3 there. There's a drive. Did he get enough in center field? Back goes Shelby. He's at the wall. He made a great catch, and the inning is over. Shelby timed it beautifully, banged up against the wall, and pulled it in. And Dale Murphy just missed one. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left, and a dandy catch. Perfect timing. At the end of 1, Dodgers 1, Braves nothing. Mike Davis leads off the 2nd inning against Rick Mailer. Davis, Shelby, and Socha will be the first 3. Joe Amalfitano coaches at 3rd, and Manny Mota at 1st. There's a strike on the corner, 0-1. There's Manny Mota, and there's Joe Amalfitano. Let up curve, just missed outside. A ball and a strike to count. Mailer went 5 innings against the Cubs opening night. Gave up 7 hits. Deep right field. Murphy is at the wall. He's got room. 1 out. Davis just missed getting that one out of here. 1 away. Does the balls, the year you played here, does it seem to you the ball carries better in the daytime than at night? Is that generally true?
I thought so. I was thinking of it just as you started to say that. And it carries a little more, I believe, from 385 in both power alleys to the lines than it does in dead center.
John Shelby is the batter, curve inside. He's off to an awful start. 1 out of 17. He's out of Cockeysville, Maryland, in the Baltimore area. Line down the right field line. That'll fall for a hit. Murphy cuts it off and holds him to 1. 3rd hit for the Dodgers. Shelby is at 1st with 1 out. Mike Socha the batter. And a good athlete, Orel Hershiser, bats next.
I was saying last night, Skip, it's a lot easier to hide a slower start as Shelby has with only 2 hits so far this season when your club is winning than it is, let's say, conversely with the Braves 0-5 and hiding a slow start.
Down and in, 1 ball, no strikes. The Dodgers banged out of it here last night. They really hadn't been hitting much, but they pounded out 15 hits last evening. Line, right center field, base hit. Shelby around 2nd. He's going to hold there. Murphy's arm kept him away from 3rd base. And 2 are on with 1 out, and all the balls in this inning have been sharply hit. Here's Hershiser. He's 0 for 1 on the year. Sacrificed his other times up, I assume.
That may have been a big play by Murphy in right field to charge the ball as strongly as he did. Keep Shelby, who can go to 1st or 3rd with the best of them. Now it forces manager Tommy Lasorda to bunt Hershiser in this situation where Hershiser, a pretty good hitter, might have been allowed to swing away with runners on 1st and 3rd.
He's showing bunt awfully early, and he does, and it is perfect. Mailer's only play will be to 1st. Close play got him 2 out. The Dodgers have done the little things in this series. Valenzuela sacrificed successfully 3 times last night.
There you see it again. As Skip said, he showed it early, so we weren't exactly sure if he was going to bunt or pull the ball back. Lays down a good bunt. Mailer barehands it and records the out.
Steve Sachs dribbled a single up the middle his first time, and he bats with 2 on and 2 out. Say this for Valenzuela. He went 8 tough innings last night. Get to the ballpark today. He's in the weight room working away on the Nautilus. Runners at 2nd and 3rd, 2 down. Up the middle, Thomas should throw him out, and he does, and the inning is over. So the Braves get out of trouble in the second. 2 hits, no runs, no errors, 2 left. We've played an inning and a half, and the Dodgers lead the Braves 1-0.
Happy 38th birthday to George Kenneth Griffey. And to another 38-year-old, Skip Carey.
+10, I'm sorry to report. Here's Gerald Perry. Well, we must not be contemplating scoring any runs in this inning because there's nobody in Rally Alley. Whoop, check it. Here comes Homer the Brave. The wind by Hershiser, the pitch. Swung, ground ball right to the mound. 1 pitch, 1 out. Perry is now 1 for his last 11, and Andres Thomas the batter. Andres doing all right, hitting .286, and he's fielded flawlessly out at shortstop after a rough spring of it. Ken Oberkfell moves on deck. Fast strike at the knees. You'll see a lot of guys jump on the first pitch against a pitcher like Hershiser with normally excellent control. He's ahead of Thomas, 0-2.
He's painted him with 2 fastballs.
Andres takes a little walk around.
And I don't know if it really helps because Hershiser will throw that first fastball. It's got that good sinking motion on it, and that's why he's getting a lot of the ground balls.
Strike 3 called. Fastball at the knees on the outside corner. He did a number on him there. 2 down. That's his second strikeout. They've both been looking.
This is your basic good morning, good afternoon, good night. 3 pitches. It misses a little bit. It runs back across the outside edge. Even though it might have missed the outside corner, when you have that kind of control, you're going to get an inch or 2 either way.
It starts out outside the strike zone, then the hitter gives up on it, and it backs up. That caught the inside corner, 0-1. He's like a surgeon out there when he's got it all going, and he appears to have it today, though it's early. Popped him up. Guerrero lost it. He's in all sorts of trouble. Now Griffin will try to make the play. He does, and the inning is over. How do you say help in Spanish? Do you know?
Ayúdame.
That's what Guerrero said, and he got it from Alfredo Griffin at the end of 2. Dodgers won. Atlanta nothing. Dodgers lead at 1-0 after 2. We go to the 3rd. Alfredo Griffin leads it off. And stepping in with a play-by-play story, here once again, Billy Sample.
Thanks, Skip. The Dodgers send their 3 Gs up, Griffin, Gibson, and Guerrero, against Rick Mailer in the 3rd. Dodgers up 1-0. Fastball strike. Griffin has 7 RBIs in the series. He was 3 for 3 last night with 4 RBIs. Off-speed deliveries fouled back. And Mailer is ahead of the count 0-2.
Really, I was talking with Mailer and Chuck Carey about how to pitch to this guy before the game, and right now he's hitting balls down around his shoes. He's hitting pitches up in his eyes, outside, inside.
Carey has to be going crazy because the 3-run triple he hit off of him 2 nights ago, it's a curveball in a good location. I guess that's what it was, a fastball down the middle. Thomas goes back. Hall calls him off and records the out. 1 away. I'll bring up left fielder Kirk Gibson, a strikeout victim his first time up.
He's out of Pontiac, Michigan, but now lives in Grosse Pointe, which is probably, if not the most, one of the most affluent subdivisions in the U.S., I'm told.
I don't read those magazines.
I think that's where Iacocca and all the boys hang out.
Mailer's ahead of the count 0-1 as Gibson fouls that pitch back. Fastball misses inside. I guess if I were to buy an American-made car, maybe I could hang out in that neighborhood. The 1-1. Ground ball back to Mailer. 2 away. I'll bring up Pedro Guerrero with the game's only RBI so far. Guerrero 3 hits last night with a home run. And he takes a strike. And Skip, you mentioned a couple of nights ago that Guerrero looks pretty good playing third base. I thought he would look a little more awkward, but takes another strike. Curveball inside. But after the story you told at the Dodger team meeting, you would think he'd have a little more trouble or not look as smooth. As Mailer misses with a big curveball. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the Dodger half of the third. They're up 1-0. The 1-2. Fastball outside corner, caught looking. So the Dodgers go 3 up, 3 down for the first time in the game. And after 2.5, they still lead 1-0. In the Braves half of the third, they'll send up Bruce Benedict, the pitcher Rick Mailer, and Albert Hall.
And we have unfinished business. You brought up something really intriguing last night, and then we had to leave and go to radio, and we're about to do it again. You were at Texas when the Len Barker deal was made, and you had some information about that, you told me.
Hershiser misses high. We were 6 games behind the White Sox with a 4-game series at home in Texas in '83. Hershiser catches the outside corner. We had a 4-game series of White Sox at home, 6 games back middle of August. I'm thinking to myself, we win 3 out of 4. Got a chance. Hershiser again, curveball over, strike 2. And we walk in the locker room and they're cleaning out Honeycutt's locker, Rick Honeycutt.
Oh, that's right.
And I thought that was, oh, that's cute. Ha ha. Break the ice. No. He was scheduled to pitch that night. So they trade him to the Dodgers. And because of that trade, the Braves felt as though they had to get another pitcher, and then they trade for Len Barker. The 1-2 to Benedict. Fastball's high.
You're right. If Texas doesn't make that deal, the Braves probably would not have made theirs.
The 2-2 to Benedict. Curveball misses.
Did Len hook on with anybody this spring? I don't think he did he? I saw him over the winter, and he didn't have anything going. Had some business interest going here in Atlanta.
I don't believe so. His last stint was with the Brewers, I believe. The 3-2. Ground ball. Oh, line drive. Guerrero on his backhand over the first base. Does Marshall stay on the bag? Yes.
Tell you what, the big guy's doing it. This is as good a play as a third baseman can make. Not only the play, but the plant and get the throw over there. Marshall has to stretch, but stays on the bag. Dodgers are in the groove.
He certainly has been impressive defensively, at least in this series. Sort of makes you wonder why they didn't have him at third base all along, between stints of when he was a third baseman.
Well, if you'd have seen him in some of his other, you would know. He has really struggled at that position, but this year, in this series, he's been all world.
Rick Mailer takes a fastball outside. It probably helps, too, knowing that you're going to have a pitching staff that's going to be around the plate as Mailer bounces back to his mound opponent. 2 away. The probably helps knowing that you're going to have a pitching staff that's going to throw strikes, going to work a quick game, as Hershiser has. And I'm sure it helps having Alfredo Griffin at shortstop. Griffin's going to be in there day in and day out, fellow countryman. Albert Hall swings at an off-speed delivery. Strike one. Albert was retired first to the pitcher his first time up. Ground ball to Sachs. For Hopper over the Marshall. And the Braves go up and down. After 3, the Dodgers 1, Braves nothing.
We go to the top half of the 4th inning. There's your score. 1-0 Dodgers lead it. Rick Mailer and Orel Hershiser dueling it out here. I'm Pete Van Weeren along with Ernie Johnson. Mike Marshall leads off here in the top half of the 4th inning. The count 0-1. Marshall fouled out to Gerald Perry in the first inning. That'll be out of play. 0-2 the count. Marshall, Davis, and Shelby due up here in the 4th. Deep to right center field. Murphy back toward that warning track, makes a nice running catch. We've had some good plays made in the outfield. Murphy's made a couple of nice catches out there, and then that big play by Shelby on the ball hit by Murphy back in the first inning.
Marshall off to a good start, hitting the ball hard. This one is caught. Pitch was away from him, and he did what you're supposed to do, hit it to the off field. And Murphy got it about halfway on the track.
Now Mike Davis, who fly to deep right his first time. Want to know the count. Houston in to open up a 3-game series tomorrow night. Bob Nipper pitches against Zane Smith. Perry will take this one himself, and very quickly 2 down here in the top half of the 4th inning. Mailer's now set down 7 straight.
Nipper pitching. No truth to the rumor that it might be ladies' night. No truth to that.
Now John Shelby, who had a base hit his first time.
They might have a pitching change, though. Ryan might pitch on the 5:40
might
game.
pitch on Wednesday, according to Joe Nosek, the Houston scout. They might move Jim DeShays up to the Tuesday night spot and save Ryan for that 5:40 game. He likes to pitch then.
I don't blame him. 95 miles an hour in the twilight zone. The hitters hate it.
A ball and no strikes the count on Shelby. 2 outs, bases empty. It's 1-0 Dodgers here in the 4th inning. And Albert Hall, drifting over into right center field, takes care of that one. So Rick Mailer has his second straight 1-2-3 inning. He's retired 8 in a row. We go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Still a 1-0 Dodger lead.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you in part by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
This here telecast, authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Atlanta National League Baseball Club, intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Atlanta National League Baseball Club is prohibited.
Damaso Garcia, a strikeout victim in the first inning. Looking for his first hit. He's not picked up a hit since the second game of the season. Hitless now in his last 16 at bats. And this should be an easy out number 1. Mike Marshall. 1 pitch, 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. It's 1-0 Dodgers, and Deion James, who has the only Atlanta hit, will step in. Damaso Garcia had a very unique description of what the Braves are going through right now. Listen very carefully to his quote. He was talking about in the clubhouse before the game today the fact that nobody on this team was hitting, and he says when nobody's hitting, everybody tries to hit a bases empty grand slam.
It's a trick.
But that is true. When you've got a collective team hitting slump going on, you all press a little bit. Everybody tries to do it all by themselves sometimes. Here's a 1-0. 2-0 the count on Deion James.
Richmond won their second game last night. We're trying to find out whether Derek Lilliquist got credit for the win. He was leading early in the game. It would be his first AAA win.
On the inside corner, 2-1. Hershiser rarely behind in the count. One of the few hitters in this game he's been behind in the count on. He was behind on Murphy in the first inning. On Benedict in the third. And now it's 3-1 on James here in the bottom of the fourth. Here's the 3-1. That fills the count on Deion. Dale Murphy on deck. Outfield very shallow against James. The 3-2 is grounded toward first. Marshall to the bag in time for out number 2. Well, Hershiser's on a roll. 9 straight retired since that first inning single by Deion James. Dale Murphy hit the ball hardest against Hershiser, but his drive to deep center field was caught up against the wall by a leaping John Shelby to end the bottom half of the first inning. One and oh the count. Popped him up. Guerrero. And another 1-2-3 inning for Orel Hershiser. Braves go quietly in the bottom of the fourth, and after 4 complete, it's still 1-0 Dodgers.
Quickly, Chicago, Montreal 3-3. Sutcliffe against Smith. New York 2-1 over Philadelphia. Wilson a home run. New York. That game in Cincinnati is now tied. They're still batting bottom of the third as Diaz has homered for Cincinnati. Pittsburgh 2, St. Louis 1 in the bottom of the third.
And here it's 1-0 Dodgers. 5th inning. Mike Scioscia, who singled in the second. Count of 1 ball, no strikes. Curveball is in for a strike, 1-1. Mike Scioscia made an interesting comment yesterday talking about all the new Dodger players this year. He feels that the addition of all the newcomers, Griffin and Gibson and so on, will mean that the guys who have been around this club for a while will have better years. Not quite as much pressure on the Mike Scioscias and Mike Marshalls and Pedro Guerreros and Steve Sachs.
Winning becomes contagious too. It rubs off on everybody.
A little more help for the veteran Dodgers will mean better years for those veterans, according to Scioscia. Garcia takes care of that one down. 9 straight retired now by Mailer. Both pitchers settling into a groove here, and Orel Hershiser will step in. He had a sacrifice bunt in the second. He's been to the plate 4 times this year, and he has 3 sacrifices. One of them a squeeze bunt that drove in the go-ahead run in his opening day shutout, or his opening assignment shutout against San Francisco. Second game of the year. Shallow right field. Murphy there for the out. Quickly 2 down. And back to the top of the order, and Steve Sachs. Dodgers really stole that run in the first inning. Steve Sachs singled to center field. Tried to go to second. Albert Hall's throw had Sachs beat at second base, but Damaso Garcia dropped the ball. Sachs then went to third on the bunt single by Griffin and came home on the sac fly by Guerrero. So the game's only run an unearned run. But it has held up to this point. We're in the top of the 5th. Oh, and 1 the count.
Sachs taking all the way. He didn't want to let Mailer get away with a couple of pitches for the inning.
Down the left field line as he hung a curveball there, but it's foul. The count 0-2. Mailer wasting a breaking ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I like to see Mailer throw that. He throws a sidearm curve on occasion, not too many times. He got a strike on Guerrero last time with a sidearm curve.
High in the air to fairly deep right field. Long run for Dale Murphy, but he gets there. Murphy's been covering some ground out there and right. It's a 1-2-3, top of the 5th. Still 1-0 Dodgers as we go to the bottom half.
American League scores. Yount and Kiefer have home runs for Milwaukee. Higuera against John. Yankees have yet to lose this year. They might lose today. Cleveland trying to give Baltimore another loss. Toronto, Minnesota, 1-0. Todd Stottlemyre, Mel Stottlemyre's boy, pitching that game for Toronto against Viola. And no score, Detroit, Kansas City. Doyle Alexander against Charlie Lee Brand.
Bottom half of the 5th inning. Braves trailing 1-0. Gerald Perry, Andres Thomas, Ken Oberkfell due up against Orel Hershiser. Perry bounced back to the pitchers first time. A ball and no strikes on Perry. You saw in the top half of the inning how economical this game has been for Rick Mailer, who has thrown only 44 pitches. That's the exact number that Hershiser has thrown now. Now it's 45 as Perry drops one into right center field. Leadoff single for Perry. Only the second hit off of Hershiser and the first Braves base runner since way back in the 1st. That'll bring up Andres Thomas, who looked at called strike 3 back in the 2nd. We'll see if Chuck Tanner has Thomas bunt the runner over. He could have Gerald Perry running here. Gerald has the only stolen bases for the Braves this year, 3 of them. He's been caught once. And Hershiser chases Perry back. Nobody has stolen a base against the Dodgers this year. Opponents are 0 for 4. Socha has been behind the plate to throw out 4 base runners. Nobody tried last night against Rick Dempsey. Just a little bit low, ball 1 to Andres Thomas, the only Brave to have hit safely in each of the first 5 games. One ball, no strikes on the hitter, Andres Thomas. That evens it 1-1. Hershiser, 61-41 lifetime. He's 20 games over 500 pitching at Dodger Stadium. He's 36-16 in that ballpark. On the road, he's been a 500 pitcher, 25-25.
When we started as a relief pitcher in the minor leagues.
Down that right field line, but foul. And it's 1-2 now on Thomas.
Hanging curveball. Thomas hit it right off his ear. Didn't quite get the bat around.
Orel Hershiser ought to be an inspiration for any youngster who's trying to make it in baseball. He was cut from his high school team twice, both his freshman and his sophomore year.
Yeah.
Cut from his Bowling Green college team once. You see Marshall holding Perry. And the fly ball is lifted to straightaway center field. Shelby is there. Perry returns. One down. Now Ken Oberkfell, who hit a pop foul back in the second inning that Pedro Guerrero never saw. But shortstop Alfredo Griffin saved the day, racing over into foul territory to catch it.
Well, you talk about being in the ball game. I don't know if I've ever seen a shortstop come that far for a foul ball.
Braves have managed but 2 hits off of Hershiser. He hasn't walked anybody. Rick Miller has allowed 4 hits. He hasn't walked anybody. Dodgers leading at 1-0. Despite all the balk calls that we've been hearing about in Major League Baseball this year, this is the 6th game of the season for the Braves, and there's only been 1 balk called in a Braves game, that against Zane Smith in his start. Pitch out, nothing was on. 6 more balks called last night in the Oakland, California game.
Well, you're going to see him in the American League because they've never been enforced to come up with a one, well, not a second stop, but some sort of a pause. They've been pitching the other way for years, and some of those guys find it tough to adjust.
They called 3 on Dave Stewart last night, 2 on former Brave Donnie Moore.
Yeah.
Another pitch out. That shows you confidence in Hershiser's control, willing to go behind in the count 2-0 and a couple of pitch outs.
He has a great ratio of walks to innings pitched every year.
1 man out here in the bottom half of the 5th. And Perry chased back. There goes Perry. The throw down by Scioscia, and he didn't get him. First stolen base against the Dodgers this year for Gerald Perry, his 4th of the season. And the count 3-0 now on Oberkfell.
The pitch just misses on the outside. Griffin taking the 1-hop throw, and that helped Perry get his foot in there.
So now Scioscia will go out, and they'll change the signs with the runner down at second. Count 3-0 on Oberkfell. Braves have their first runner in scoring position of the afternoon with 1 man out. And that's the first walk issued by Hershiser.
2 of those pitches were intentional balls outside. Here's Benedict.
Benedict grounded out to third, back in the 3rd.
Guerrero made a good play on Benedict first time up.
Benedict now 0 for 10 lifetime against Hershiser. A ball and no strikes. 1 man out. Braves trying to get on the board, trailing 1-0. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Down at second, Gerald Perry. He singled and stole second. Ken Oberkfell, who just walked, on at first. Off of Hershiser toward the shortstop Griffin. His throw on to first in the dirt, dug out of there by Marshall. A pinball out there, caromed off everything. And the Dodgers able to get 1 out, and the runners move to second and third.
This doesn't hit Hershiser. It's probably a base hit. hit him right in the foot. Karam's over toward the shortstop. Griffin and Benedict just does not have good speed. Is thrown out on a good play.
So now with 2 outs, runners second and third. Rick Mailer will be the batter. Ron Peronowski out. Make sure Hershiser's all right. They'll be careful with Rick Mailer. Mailer swings the bat very well for a pitcher. He bounced to the pitcher his first time up, but he has helped himself with the bat over the years. 196 was his lifetime batting average coming into this season.
Perry broke from third. Hershiser very calmly stepped off.
He gets the windup back with runners second and third and 2 outs.
I balked on that one.
And he's ahead in the count, 0-1 on Rick Mailer. That caught the corner. It's 0-2. First real trouble spot of the game for Hershiser. Gerald Perry represents the potential tying run just 90 feet away. Ken Obergfell the potential go-ahead run down at second. But there are 2 outs in the inning, so it'll take a base hit by Mailer to get anybody in. Right off the end of the bat to Marshall. Hershiser's out of trouble. The Braves strand 2. It's still 1-0 Dodgers after 5. Tonight on the sports page, Tom Penders joins Craig Sager live to talk about his move to the University of Texas, where he's a new basketball coach. Plus, Rick Barry will take a look at how Danny Manning will play in the NBA. That's all on the sports page tonight at 11 Eastern time. 1-0 Dodgers, top of the 6th. Here's Ernie.
Thank you, Professor. Alfredo Griffin leads it off. He had a bunt single first time up. He has 5 hits in this series and 7 RBIs, and the pitch is high. He'll be followed by Kirk Gibson. Here's the 0-1. Down low. Richmond won that second game last night. Derek Lilliquist was not involved in the decision. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hit the straightaway center. Albert Hall, with his glasses gleaming, makes the catch. 1 out. Twelve in a row knocked off by Rick Mailer. Sunday afternoon pitching duel between Mailer and Hershiser.
We've made the point about the fact that the Braves bullpen has been a big part of the problem in this 5-game losing streak to open the season. We should also point out the Braves have gotten great starting pitching in 3 of the 6 games. Pete Smith, Zane Smith, and now Rick Mailer. Today they've pitched well enough to get you a win if you score some runs. You got to score some runs though when you're getting that good pitching.
And Kevin Kaufman didn't do too badly.
Right.
0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gibson struck out the first time on that real slow curve from Mailer. Gibson's job, of course, is to learn the pitchers in the National League, and the pitchers should have the advantage, really. They know what they're going to throw, and Gibson many times is looking at strange pitches, especially if you've got a lot of off-speed stuff. Fastballs are more or less the same, except for the action on the fastball, whether it's straight or runs. There's the curve, a little bit high. Guerrero on deck. An unearned run has the Dodgers out in front. left center field. Albert Hall says, I got it. 2 down. Now Guerrero with a sac fly in the first inning.
That's 13 straight retired now by Mailer. Last man to reach was Mike Scioscia with his single back in the second.
Guerrero struck out in the third. And the first pitch to him, look out. Little calling card, 1-0. If you're a heavy hitter, you expect one under the chin now and then. Fouled away. As many have said, I don't mind it under the chin, just don't throw it behind my head. 1 ball, 1 strike. Natural reaction on a ball thrown behind a hitter is to back up, and you're done. There's that slow curve. 2 balls and a strike. Houston here tomorrow. They're in for 3. Thursday's off, then it's off to the coast, playing the Dodgers next weekend, followed by Houston before getting back here. 2 balls and a strike. Fastball toward the hold, off the glove of Andres Thomas. We'll see how they score it. It was a backhand play. He had to make a good play.
No ruling from the official scorer yet. Thomas going to the hole. Would have been a close play at first base. Guerrero runs fairly well, and they're going to give him a base hit.
You might hear a boo or two when they flash that. But it was not an easy play. Marshall. No doubt about that one. Left center field base hit. And Albert Hall up with the ball on the first bounce. So back-to-back singles. And now Mike Davis with 2 down. 4 of the hits allowed by Mailer were in the very first 2 innings. Now he's given up 2 here in the 6th. Davis has flied out and bounced to first.
It's been in spots like this in this series. The Dodgers have really been doing a lot of scoring, a lot of 2-out hits in this series for Los Angeles.
That's how you get in first place, and that's where they are. Tied with the Giants, 4 wins, 1 loss. Just outside. The Braves in San Diego and the Nationals trying to win their first games today, and the Orioles in the American. Yankees the only undefeated team, but they are losing to Milwaukee. That is foul, pass first. Last night we had 16,000 plus here. There you see the crowd today. Looks like 15 to 20. Runners first and second. Guerrero at second, Marshall at first. And a 1-1 pitch is hit into center field, base hit. Guerrero scores easily. Marshall toward third will make it. It's 2-0. So after 2 outs, 3 straight hits, and the Dodgers lead by 2.
First RBI of the year for Mike Davis, his 5th hit in this series. And he picked out a low fastball. It may have been out of the strike zone. And another 2-out run scoring hit for the Dodgers.
Now John Shelby singled and flied out. Mailer needs an out to keep it just at 2-0 against Hershiser. You can't give him too much. He had an ERA of over 3, just a shade over last year, but he's had seasons where his ERA was in the 2s. So you know what you're up against when you go in. That should be out number 3. A high pop. Oberk fell off third in foul territory. And that'll do it. But 3 straight hits, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. 2-0 Los Angeles. We're going to the bottom of the 6th inning. Albert Hall will lead it off. Pete Van Weeren and Ernie Johnson with you. Orel Hershiser with a couple of more warm-up tosses. Hershiser kind of looks a little like Opie, as they say in the Dodger clubhouse. He's a very religious young man. And one story goes that, and I believe it happened this year, that one of his teammates was low bridged, and the next giant that came to the plate, he hit him right in the knee. Might have been Will Clark. And he has been questioned in the past about, hey, you're a very religious guy. He said, well, you don't have to be a wimp to be a Christian. He's a hockey player in his youth. And he's pitching to Albert Hall, who shortens up the bunt, takes it high. 1-0. As I mentioned, he was a relief pitcher in the minor leagues, and they were grooming him to be a relief pitcher in the majors, but he was pitching a lot in the minors and got an opportunity one day to start. They've never gotten him out of there. That is bounced to first. Nice play, Marshall, and perfectly executed. He got it to Hershiser before he got to the bag. Marshall hasn't played that much first, but you wouldn't know it.
No, he's had a very good series defensively. It's the second time he's made a play just like this in this series. Going toward the hole, getting rid of it quickly. Last time he made this type of play, he threw behind the pitcher a little bit. This time the throw is perfect.
Garcia fighting a slump that's reached 0 for 17. 0 for 14 in this series. Deion James on deck. Hershiser and Don Sutton went over to the Masters yesterday or the day before. Hershiser's a 4, I believe. That's his handicap. That shows very little run production, doesn't it? Hit fouled on the right side out of play. Two runs, 7 hits, no errors. The Dodgers have raised no runs, 2 hits, 1 error. Hershiser has a sinking fastball, curve, and a slider, and excellent control. He's been hitting that mid on the outside corner in particular today against right-handed batters. Struck out Garcia and Thomas out there. There it is again. Curveball outside, going down and away. Garcia strikeout victim for the second time.
And one thing Socha is able to do, look, he sets up just a little bit off the corner. And Hershiser, although that was a swinging strike, he has gotten some called strikes on pitches that have been just off the plate because he's hitting Socha's target.
Yeah. Boy, the umpire thanks you for that. If you hit the target, he can do the game in a rocking chair. James 1 for 2. Because if you keep hitting the target, he just hovers over the target. And if you hit the mid, it's a strike. 2-0. Murphy on deck. James had a single in the first. High pop foul off third. Going to make the seats, I believe. 2 balls and a strike. Absolutely delightful day in Atlanta. Chance of a little rain tomorrow. 2 balls and 1 strike. Airtime tomorrow, 7:35. We got 2 7:35 starts and an early start on Wednesday.
Nolan Ryan may be pitching Wednesday. That 5:40 start, hitters have a tough time seeing. Nolan had 11 strikeouts in 7 innings his first start this year. He hasn't slowed down any.
Ball 4 to Deion James. Second walk. And here's Murphy, the tying run. Jerry Fraley had some good comments today in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. He implied that not too many players around the National League are in love with the San Francisco Giants. He said that a Houston Astro, I think it was Dave Smith, said that Cincinnati's got a good club, a bunch of good guys. And they asked him about the Giants. They said, how about Will Clark? How can you like a guy that's got thrill on the back of his helmet? What at all? Will Clark is one of the best hitters around. Giants are 4-1. Out to short. Got to force at second. He fell down, but Griffin got the ball to Sachs in time to force James. Braves strand another. We've played 6, and it's 2-0 Dodgers. Skip Carey and Ernie Johnson now with you as we move to the 7th with Mike Scioscia against Rick Mailer. And the pitch is high. Scioscia is 1 for 2, singled and lined to second. Hit the ball hard twice, but against the Braves in his career, he's always had his share of hits. A little bit high. Scioscia's at 357. That's over. When the Braves come back from the next road trip on April 23rd. Albert's got a beat on it, makes a catch. That left the bat looked like it was going to fly a little farther. 1 down. April 23rd against the Reds. Flavor-rich Braves jacket night. First 15,000 fans, 14 and under, receive the Braves jacket. It's a good one. And on April 24th, Sunday, it's Sony Sunglasses Day. Here's Hershiser with 1 down and the ball. He has been up twice, sacrificed, and fly to right. To Thomas. To Perry. 2 down. Now Steve Sachs. Mailer's done all right today. The Braves just haven't gotten any runs. It's 2-0. In fact, only one of the runs has been earned. Sachs is waiting for Hershiser to get back to the dugout. In fact, he might even take a pitch here. 2 outs. The outfield moves around toward right on Sachs. Take a pitch, Steve. Make me look good.
You do look good. You got your racy hat on today.
He didn't take it. He fouled it. Yeah, that is kind of racy today.
You still look good.
Pretty hard these days.
Sort of like a thin Humphrey Pennyworth.
Yeah. You know any chubby ones?
Yeah.
Hey, on. High inside. I talked to Vin Scully, who's getting up there in age, although I have him by a few years. He always wears a tie. I said, you wear a tie a lot. He says, hides a lot of sins.
Yeah.
2 balls and 1 strike. Down low.
We're going to snap out of it because the organist hasn't played Suicide is Painless today, and I think that's a very positive sign.
Out to second, Garcia. Mailer has a very easy 1, 2, 3 out inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Everybody stands up in Atlanta. It's 2-0 Los Angeles. We're going to the bottom of the 7th. We want to thank Georgia Power for their cooperation on a very fine promotion today. Gerald Perry will lead it off. He'll be followed by Andres Thomas and Ken Oberkfell. Hershiser a little late getting out there, taking his final toss.
Yeah, Georgia Power had the good sense to give out magnetic schedules here today. Slap on your refrigerator.
Yes, sir. Very good, Skip.
Thank you, Ernie.
Perry, single last time up and stole a base. And the first pitch to him is high and away. 1-0. Foul away, straight back. One ball, one strike. A little bit high. Richmond beating Maine in AAA baseball 4-1 as they go to the 5th. Greenville behind 1-0 to Birmingham in the 5th. Well hit to left. Gibson to the track has got it. Perry flies to deep left, out number 1. Yankees still losing 4-1 as they go to the bottom of the 6th. They're the only undefeated team in baseball. Milwaukee's leading. Now Andres Thomas, who struck out and flied out. Bullpen becomes active. Paleo and Osadmacher for Atlanta. If we get down to the pitcher, there will be a pinch hitter.
Mr. Hershiser has pitched 15 1/3 innings this year and allowed 5 hits and no run.
He shut out the Giants in the 2nd game of the season. Strike call. They get some pitching help to replace Bob Welch. This could be a very interesting year for the Dodgers with all their additions. But they're still wondering about their late inning relief and the replacement for Welch. That's inside the bag. Thomas has got 1, and now he's got 2. Andres Thomas has hit in all 6 games. Couldn't buy a base hit in spring training.
And he had all sorts of defensive problems in spring training, and he's been flawless at shortstop. Curveball, belt high, or maybe a little bit above the belt. And those are the kind of pitches that will get you hurt.
We talked about the way he's been getting the curveball on the outside part of the plate and down. That shows you hitting the mistake. It was up. Here's Oberkfell. Obi is 0 for 1. He walked last time. Benedict on deck. Shot slowly towards second. Out at first. Boy, that Griffin is and it's my first look at him, except on television. Griffin can play this game of baseball.
Oh, he's a good-looking shortstop and a clutch hitter in this series. He bobbles this ball just a little bit, I think, but he flips it out of the glove into the bare hand, nice as you please. Benedict's called back.
Yeah.
Now, Ozzie Virgil, I don't believe is available to catch. He is available to pinch hit, so Ted Simmons would have to come on. Virgil had his fluid drained from his knee prior to the game.
We'll see if it's Simmons or Griffey. If Simmons is going to catch, they might just put him right in there. He's a switch hitter.
Yep.
It is Simmons. Simmons for Benedict. Simmons is 0 for 3 this year. Hershiser, meanwhile, keeps taking practice tosses. Mailer is on deck. A runner at third and 2 down. So it takes a 2-out hit from Ted Simmons. Zane Smith scheduled tomorrow night against Bob Knepper. The Astros are in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. 7:40, 7:40, and 5:40 starts. And the first pitch from Orel Hershiser is hit high into the air and left, and Gibson's going to catch it easily. And the Braves strand another. We go to the 8th, down by a couple. 4-4, the Cubs and the Expos. Dawson a home run in that ball game. And Philadelphia and New York 2-2. Wilson a home run, New York. That's Mookie. Diaz and Daniels have hit home runs for Cincinnati. Daniels now with 4 Cincinnati leads in that ball game. 2-2 Pittsburgh, St. Louis. Sid Bream a home run for the Pirates. In the American, Milwaukee still leading the Yankees. Out and key for home runs, Milwaukee. Cleveland setting Baltimore down. Looks like it's going to be another bad day for the Orioles. Toronto 1-0 over Minnesota. That's Todd Stottlemyre on a good game. Chicago 2-1 over Seattle after 2. And Kansas City beating Detroit 4-1 as they go to the 3rd. Boston 1, Texas 0. Bottom of the 2nd. And later, Oakland at California. So you're updated on all the scores, and all season long we'll keep you that way. We know there's interest in Major League Baseball. Simmons is catching. We go to the 8th here, Skip.
Okay, Ernie, thank you. And Alfredo Griffin will lead it off for the Dodgers. He has 1 out of 3. He beat out a bunt in the first, has since flied to center twice. Was asking around in the clubhouse before the game. Nobody that I ran into has talked lately with Glenn or Lynn Hubbard. I was just wondering when he would be coming back.
Well, they put him on the disabled list. We know that. And he's, I believe, coming along okay, but it's just a matter of getting through that period of being on the list.
You saw Alejandro Pena in the Dodger bullpen as the breaking ball is low to Griffin. Some tough outs in this inning. Griffin, Gibson, and Guerrero. If anybody gets on, Marshall tried to bunt his way on again. Fouled it back, and the count is 1-1.
And that was a different type. I mean, this guy does little things. He ran up, looked like he's going to bunt, and then he swung a little bit to try to hit it harder past Oberkfell, and he missed it. Or I should say, just ticked it.
Mentioned earlier in the game, first the 1-1. Fly ball right. Murphy will handle it. It was pretty well hit. 1 down. But for those who weren't with us earlier, talking with Chuck Carey and Rick Mailer about how to pitch to Griffin before the game, and our pitchers are baffled. He hits the ball off his shoes, hits it off the bill of his cap, hits balls, hits strikes.
Well, we saw him in spring training pull a ball to right field. Then the next time up, he hit a ball between the third baseman and the bag. So you just don't know what to do. On that type of hitter, the best, I believe, would be just to try to change speeds and maybe right down the middle. What the heck?
That's what Mailer was saying. Just throw him fastballs down the pike and see what happens.
Yeah.
1 ball, no strikes to Gibson. Well, it's worked for Rick. He's gotten him on 3 fly balls after the bunt. Fastball. There's a base hit into right field. Gibson hit it off the end of the bat, but he's a big, strong guy, and he's aboard with 1 out. His first hit of the afternoon, and Guerrero, the batter, is 1 for 2. He has scored 1 run and driven in the other with a sacrifice fly.
What I like about Gibson, Skip, excuse me, is that when he grounded to the mound back in the 3rd inning, he ran as fast as he could to first. He was an easy out, but he's a little like Rose in that respect, the way he runs.
That's what Lasorda says about him. The guy really loves to play.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Gary Matthews, the way he approaches the game. Runner going. Simmons throw. Got in there just barely under the tag. Simmons' throw was accurate. He didn't have a whole lot of mustard on it, and Gibson got in.
Well, you know, when Ted Simmons is catching, that manager like Lasorda with a fellow like Gibson at first going to say go ahead and run, because Ted at one time had a great arm back there, but time takes its toll and he just doesn't throw like he used to.
So an insurance run in scoring position with 1 out. And Guerrero and Marshall have a chance to get it home. Upstairs. Paul Ossenmacher in the Atlanta bullpen now, along with Kevin Kaufman, looks like. Guerrero waits on the 2-0 pitch. Here it is. Ground ball to third. Tough play. Oberkfell made it nicely and throws him out. That was a tough hop. Good job by Obi. 2 down.
Boy, what a great play, because watch this ball hop, and you don't know what it's going to do on that long hop. And Obi stayed right with it, looked it into his glove, which you're supposed to do. Every coach will tell you, look the ball right into the pocket of that glove, but you really don't know how it's going to bounce on a big bounce off the dirt. On artificial turf, you do, but not on the dirt.
Mike Marshall is the batter. The runner is still at second with 2 out. Fine turnout here. Boy, the fan support has been all you could ask for the Braves, and so has the weather. Let up curve is high. 1 ball, no strikes.
Another 2-out situation with a runner in scoring position. They've been murdering the Braves in this series with 2-out hits.
A very valid point. Fastball is low. He falls behind 2-0. Well, this has been an encouraging outing for Rick Mailer, win or lose. He got roughed up opening night, got roughed up his last couple of starts in spring training, but he's on the track today. Fastball just missed the outside corner. Mike Davis is next. And Marshall just might have the green light here.
They are 18 out of 24 with 2 outs. I mean, that's unheard of.
750, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's better than average. The 3-0. Yep. Base hit. Might have a play at the plate. James up and firing. Here comes Gibson. Throw is offline. He is safe. He is safe. He will wind up at third. It will be an error on Ted Simmons, and it's 3-0 with a runner at third base. They are now 19 of 25 with 2 men out. A single, an RBI for Marshall. He reaches second on an error by Ted Simmons. And here comes Chuck Tanner as you look at the replay.
Base hit left. James with the throw. It's a little off target. You can see it's up toward the first base line. And Simmons trying to go to second. Throws a one-hopper that gets by. We've now got a 3-0 game. Ossenmacher's coming in, and we'll break for this commercial.
Paul Ossenmacher on to pitch for Atlanta, and he will face Mike Davis, who is 1 for 3, and with that hit drove in his first run of the year. That came back in the 6th inning.
Let's clear up one matter. 19 of the 25 runs scored here by the Dodgers in this series have come with 2 outs. It wasn't hits, it was runs.
Seems like hits, though.
Yes.
It might be right both ways.
Yeah, pretty close.
Davis stands in there against the left-hander. Did Richmond win that second game last night?
Yes, they did. We mentioned that they did win. Lilliquist wasn't involved in the decision.
How'd he pitch? So-so, I guess, huh?
Bobby was saying something like they were limiting him to 75 or 80 pitches because of they didn't get that much work in spring training. So that time might have elapsed.
Mike Davis is the batter, and the pitch is swung on. Fly ball right field. Pretty well hit. Murphy is on the track. He's got room, and just shy of the wall, he hauls it in, and the inning is over. But the Dodgers pick up an insurance run on 2 hits. There was 1 error, and a runner was left. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning with your score. Dodgers now 3, Braves still nothing. There's a lady that's on the wrong side of the camera in my estimation, and we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Bruce Sutter is now in the Atlanta bullpen. Jeff Hamilton has checked in to play third base for the Dodgers, and Terry Blocker will come out to hit here for Paul Ossenbacher. Mailer went 7 2/3 innings and pitched quite well. He allowed 3 runs, 9 hits, struck out 2, didn't walk anyone. But he's not going to be rewarded with anything but a loss unless his teammates can rally in their last 2 chances here. Blocker 0 for 1. He struggled in spring training till the last couple of weeks when he stung the ball, and he hits that hard. But Shelby has him played perfectly. 1 up. Shelby plays a shallow center field, and thus was equal to that shot, and there's 1 out. Here's Albert Hall, who's 0 for 3. He's bounced to first twice, to second once. Hershiser, now in his 17th inning of the regular season, has yet to allow a run and has allowed just 6 hits all year. Bounced 1 up there, 1 ball, no strikes. He has struck out 9 on the year and walked 4. Damaso Garcia is next. The Astros here tomorrow at 7:40. And for the 3rd time he grounds 1 to Marshall. He's 0 for 4, 2 out. Here's Garcia. He struck out twice and popped up once. And Damo is fighting it. He's 0 for his last 18. This, unless the Braves rally, would be their 6th loss in a row. Fast strike. The franchise record is 7 consecutive losses at the open of the season. That was in 1980. The league, Garcia and Terry Tata getting into it now. The league record is 9 losses in a row, and the baseball record is 13. That in the American League. Low and away. It's 1-1. Pena working again in the Dodger pen. Outside, 2 balls and a strike. Deion James waits to hit next. There are 2 out in the inning. That is not a happy man, Chuck Tanner. Curve dropped right in there, and it's 2-2. Big breaking curveball. That was sort of a different pitch than he's showed most of the afternoon.
Yeah, changed up on it.
He's given Damo his whole repertoire here today. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fought it off, hit it foul to right.
Sometimes a pitcher will just throw a different pitch to get them talking in the dugout. Hey, he threw me a little slider. It all helps.
The 2-2 pitch. Here it is. Curve tapped weakly toward short. Griffin in, up, throws, got him, inning over. Oh, that guy can pick it around shortstop. So the Braves go quietly in the 8th. You'll see Alfredo Griffin's work as we depart. At the end of 8 innings, the Dodgers lead the Braves, and the score is 3-0. John Shelby will lead off the 9th for the Dodgers against Bruce Sutter, who makes his 3rd appearance. He's had a bad one and a good one. And the split finger is missed by Shelby. It's 0-1. Shelby, Socia, and Hershiser. $14,171 paid here. Foul tipped by Shelby. It's 0-2. That may have stung the home plate umpire, Terry Tata. Nobody on, nobody out. We're in the 9th, in the Atlanta half of the 9th inning. James, Murphy, and Perry will be the first 3, so you got the heart of the order up there.
The total in the house is more than 15,000. We have a few freebies up here in right field.
Fastball upstairs to Shelby. A ball and 2 strikes. little tap. Should be easy. Shelby out by a step. So Suter gets the first one. Here's Mike Scioscia, 1 for 3.
The thing that's encouraging about Suter is the fact that he's going out there pitching and not feeling any discomfort. And it's just a question, he said, of the location, getting better control. Main thing is his arm feels all right.
There's a strike. As to the rest of it, the hitters will let him know.
Yeah.
0-1 the count. There's the split finger. It looks excellent today. It's 0-2. And as the weather gets warmer and warmer, he figures to get better and better.
Yeah. And just don't pitch him too much. And I don't think Tanner will do that. I think he's going to more or less go along every few days rather than like every day or every other day.
Count stays 0-2 on Scioscia.
Of course, Suter's a tough guy to get out of there. If he says he wants in, if you need me, he'll go right out there. In his prime, he would pitch every day if you asked him.
If people could just share with us first the pitch. That ball's looped into center. I don't know if Hall can get there. Nope. Falls in front of him. He played a very deep center field. And Scioscia's aboard with 1 out. But for the last 2 years, you walk into the ballpark and you walk through the tunnel and you walk into the clubhouse. And there would be Bruce Suter either on the Nautilus machines, which are right by the door when you come into the clubhouse, or you'd walk back to the training room and there he'd be on the exercise bicycle day after day after day.
And I admire those guys that do it when they could very easily taken the easy way out and gone and retired, had enough money never to work again. But I think someone asked him about that down in spring training. He said, hey, I'm a professional baseball player by trade.
And I'll tell you what, I don't know much about the power of positive thinking. I never read all those books. But I remember last year when John Sterling and I were both off doing a lot of basketball games, and we were looking for a third guy to just sit in up here. First, the pitch is bunted on the first base line, but foul. And I suggested Suter's name without even talking to him, and the people at the station discussed it and went to him. And he turned it down because he said, no, he said, I don't want to ever have to say anything about guys who I hope and think will be my teammates again.
Yeah.
And that's a year ago. He was convinced in his own heart he could make it back. Good bunt. Boy, they've whoop. Cross signals, but no harm done. 2-4 sacrifice.
All right, the punt is perfect, and Simmons and Suter, a little problem making up their minds, but Simmons now grabs it. A little help from Suter and threw him out.
Here's Steve Sachs. Sachs is 1 for 4. He singled, scored the first run in the first inning. Runner at second. 2 out into the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. 14,171 paid, and about 22,000 or so in the ballpark. Simmons and Suter talk it over. Zane Smith will work against Bob Knepper tomorrow. Peter Smith against Nolan Ryan on Tuesday. And Kevin Kaufman against Jim Deshaies on Wednesday. Look right under his chin. 2-0. Sort of get the feeling we've seen enough of the Dodgers, but that's not the way it is. Be right back with them next weekend out there.
This one just got away. He wasn't throwing at anybody.
Sachs steps out of the box. Good cut at a fastball. He fouled it into the seats. It's 2-1. Nice catch by a fan down below. Brought the glove and made good use of it. Scioscia at second. Two and two, now the count. You ever done a broadcast where you just wanted to take a deep breath and scream as loud as you can?
Yeah, yesterday, the day before, and today.
And then I'm not alone. The 2-2 just missed outside. Full count, 3-2. Alfredo Griffin would be next, and you hate to see him with 2 outs the way he is. Racked us up in this series.
This is frustrating because the Braves pitching so far hasn't been that bad.
Sacks way out in front, grounds it foul, still 3-2.
I know what frustrates ball players is inability to score runs in a close game. If you get walloped, that's one thing, but when you're down like 2-0, 3-0, and haven't put anything on the board, the Braves got one more rap to do something about it, but that's what frustrates the players.
Again, the payoff to Sacks. Here it is. Ground ball to short. Should be easy. Andres Thomas on to first. And Suter gets through it in good shape again. 1 hit, no runs. No errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Braves. They trail 3-0. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Well, we just heard from one of our favorite ladies, Lynn Hubbard, Glenn's wife. He's coming off the DL today out in Oakland and has already taken batting practice, so he's coming along fine, and that's good news. All of us with the Braves wish both Lynn and Glenn a very successful season.
Yes, if fans didn't remember or didn't know, Hubbard was hit by a pitch in spring training. Hit in the face.
Orbital bone right under his eye. Deion James is 1 for 2 with a walk. Jay Howell, the right-hander, Jesse Orozco, the left-hander, in the bullpen for the Dodgers. Hershiser has thrown 88 pitches to this point. Curve strike, 0-1. Is that right, Ken? That's 90 pitches according to our calculations. Curveball, strike. And he's ahead 0-2. He has been a Marcus Welby out there today, boys. He's carved him up. He's been a surgeon. But he's got to get 3 more outs. Fastball upstairs, a ball and 2 strikes. Cubs just got 3 in the 8th and have taken a 7-4 lead over Montreal as they go to the 9th. Ryan Sandberg, another homer. Andre Dawson, his first. Rick Sutcliffe has gone all the way. He laid off the curve. It's 2-2. Mets got 2 in the 7th. Mookie Wilson's second home run of the day, a 2-run shot. They lead Philadelphia 4-3. Houston just got 5 in the 7th. Glenn Davis, a 3-run homer, is 4th. Lined into center. Shelby can't get there. Base hit. There's the start. Here's Dale Murphy. Houston leads Cincinnati 7-2. Cal Daniels has hit his 4th, and Bo Diaz his 2nd. Pittsburgh 3-2 over the Cardinals after 7. Sid Bream a homer. San Diego, San Francisco just starting. Maine and Richmond now 4-4 after 5. Birmingham leads Greenville 1-0 after 4. We'll give you the American League in a moment. A runner at first, nobody out. Murphy 0 for 3. Popped it up short center field and might be trouble. Everybody chasing it. Griffin battles it and makes the catch. Boy, he is a good shortstop. 1 up.
Not an easy play. Shelby so deep because Murphy's batting that he couldn't have caught it. And Griffin calls everybody off very calmly now. Catches it kind of over his shoulder. Got good hands.
One out. Gerald Perry, the batter. American League, Milwaukee, New York, 4-4 in the 8th in Yankee Stadium. Cleveland 6-3 over Baltimore. They're in the 7th. Minnesota 4-1 over Toronto after 5. White Sox lead Seattle 2-1 after 3. Perry tries to bunt his way off. 0-1. Kansas City leads the Tigers, and Doyle Alexander behind Charlie Leibrandt 4-1 after 4. Red Sox 1-0 over Texas after 3.5. Bob Welch will pitch for Oakland at California. That game just getting underway.
He won his first game. Welch shooting for win number 2.
Fast strike over the outside corner. And the count's 1-1. I thought Perry had offered at that first pitch, but apparently not.
No.
Andres Thomas on deck. Need another base runner to get the potential tying run to the plate. That will make the seats. Hamilton gives it a look, but has no chance. A ball and 2 strikes. Socha to the mound to talk it over with Hershiser. James at first. Need one more runner to have a chance. Ken Griffey's still on the Atlanta bench with some power. Ozzie Virgil likewise. And Gary Renicky. Gotta have another base runner to get the tying run up there. 1-2 the count on the Atlanta first baseman. Dion edges away at first. Curve low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Perry laid off. Hershiser in his 18th inning of shutout baseball this year. Little tap down the first baseline, foul. Last year, the Braves were shut out in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium only once, and that was on the 4th of July. This would be their second in the first week of the season, unless they can get it going here.
Hershiser with 100 pitches.
Line base hit. The tying run will come to the plate. They're going to wave the runner. James will score. It's 3-1. And the tying run will come to the plate. Perry drives in his 5th run with a vicious double down the right field line.
High curveball. And Perry waiting. He has a lifetime batting average of over 300 against Hershiser. He hasn't hurt himself today with 2 hits. Ball caroms away. James around third being waved by Stargell. The throw comes to second. And Atlanta trailing by 2.
And here comes Ron Peronowski toward the mound. He's on the run, so let's wait and see. I don't know if he's going to make the pitching change or not. He does that for Lasorda now. And a veteran pitcher like Hershiser, he might just let him make the decision. Are you losing it or not? Both base hits in this inning have really been ripped. There's Jay Howell, the right-hander. Jesse Orozco, the left-hander, ready if needed.
You get the feeling he'll let him pitch to Thomas. And if he gets Thomas out, he'll let him stay. But if Thomas reaches, he'll go to the pen. But we'll see.
It's Thomas, then Oberkfell, due for Atlanta. They look to the bullpen, and they're going to make a move. And it'll be the right-hander, Jay Howell, who gets the call.
Well, now we'll see if Thomas bats. As you mentioned, Griffey is sitting in the bench.
How came over with Griffin for Jack Savage, Matt Young, and Bob Welch back in December. He was 3-4 at Oakland last year, at 16 saves, but a terrible earned run average, nearly 6, and we'll be back. Jay Howell makes his first appearance of the year, and Orel Hershiser asks him to save it for him. Hershiser went in 8 1/3 innings, allowed 5 hits, 1 run, struck out 3, walked 2. The runner on base is his responsibility. Shelby gets some sunglasses, or rather Mike Davis does. Now heads back to his position. You can see that Howell did not have a big year. He's out of Miami, Florida. Big guy, 6'3", 210-pounder. Homer the Brave out in Raleigh Alley, trying to exhort the troops. Jay Howell came up with the Reds, pitched a little bit with the Cubs, then went to the Yankees, then to Oakland. His big year was 85. He was 9-8 at Oakland with 29 saves. The tying run potentially is at the plate. Perry is at second. There's 1 out in the inning. Pena and Orozco now in the bullpen. Live fastball, but he missed low and away. 1 ball, no strikes. They play Andres Thomas straight away. Look at the way Hamilton guards the line. The whole left side of the infield is wide open. They want to keep Thomas out of scoring position. Curve out. Check it. It caught the corner. It's 1-1. Looked outside from here, but Terry Tata said no. There's Hamilton. Well, he is camped on that third baseline. All that room to hit through on the left side. The 1-1. Check swing, didn't mean to. He's in the hole 1-2. This guy's got some velocity. A ball and 2 strikes. Socha to the mound to talk to Jay Howell. One and 2 the count. Curve high and outside. 2-2. The Braves have been out hit 10-5, trail 3-1. We're in the 9th. Curve, a little tap towards second. Sachs has it, throws to first in time. Runner at third, 2 out. And Ken Oberkfell, the batter. And here comes Tommy Lasorda this time. He's got the left-hander Orozco in his bullpen. The Braves have Gary Renicky and Ozzie Virgil and Paul Runge, right-handed pinch hitters. And that's going to do it for Jay Howell. And I guess it will be Orozco who gets the call. So Howell did his job. Pitched to one man and got him out. Orozco saved a game here the other night. The first game of the series, he pitched a perfect 9th inning and a 5-2 Dodger win and struck out 1. And Gary Renicky will come out to pinch hit against him. I want to remind you while we have a moment that at 4:50 this afternoon, a TBS Encore presentation, portrait of the Soviet Union, an exploration of the Russian Republic and the Russians of the old Russian Empire. We'll be back right after this. And there's the story. Gary Renicky, the pinch hitter, is 0 for 1. He popped out to third base as a pinch hitter last night, and he'll stand in there now. Against Jesse Orozco, had an off year last year with the Mets. and had his troubles in spring training for the Dodgers. Had one very impressive outing where he struck out the side against the Red Sox, but was hit rather well for the most part. He's out of Santa Barbara, California. He came here by way of Oakland in that deal. Last year was 3-9, 16 saves, a 4.44 earned run out. Charlie Puleo in the Atlanta bullpen. Brad Havens, I think, and Alejandro Pena throwing for the Dodgers. 2 out in the 9th inning. It's 3-1. Perry at third. Renicky the batter. Ted Simmons on deck. Orozco will work off the stretch. Oh, 0-1. Breaking ball. So Orozco gets out in front. The outfield shades Renicky toward left. Again, Hamilton parked on the line. Outside, 1-1. There's the bullpen action for Los Angeles. It is Brad Havens with Alejandro Pena. Orozco climbs back up on the hill. It's in there, and he's in the hole. 1-2. Another breaking ball. Renicky takes a walk around. He wasn't too sure about that one. I still think this is the toughest job in baseball. Pinch hitting.
Oh, it is. Sit there all afternoon, then you get your number called.
1-2. Upstairs. Didn't miss by much. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch. He hit the daylights out of that, but fouled on the third base line. Was way out in front. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A long one would tie it up. A single would bring a potential winning run to the plate. Again out in front, pulled it foul over the Dodger dugout. Renicky digs in, and Scioscia calls time, goes to the mound.
I didn't keep track of the meetings Scioscia held because they kept him out of yesterday's game.
He's held a bunch of them here in the 9th inning, but you don't really object to that in this kind of game. You want to be sure. But Terry Tata says enough is enough and heads out there to break it up. 2-2, the count to Renicky. The 2-2 pitch. Perry at third, 2 out, 3-1 Dodgers. Full count, 3-2.
First fastball he's thrown. All the rest were breaking ball.
Well, Renicky figures to see a pretty good pitch to hit here. They don't want to bring the winning run to the plate. The 3-2. Strike 3 called. The ball game is over. Renicky thought it was low and outside, but Terry Tata calls him out of there, and the ball game's over. And Renicky hands out a pretty good rip as he and Tata walk down the right field line. The Braves get a run on 2 hits. No errors, 1 left. The losing streak has reached 6 totals and highlights right after this.